Hey, so here are my groups for the Gold Cup. I'll be explaining my Gold Cup predictions. With that being said, let's get into the video.
The cross comes in towards Pulisic, the chest control, he has support on his right foot. Christian Pulisic, absolutely brilliant.
Hey, so starting off with Group A, I did put Trinidad and Tobago at the bottom. This is not the same team that stopped the USA from reaching the World Cup in 2017. Since then, they haven't beat any of the big teams in CONCACAF that would really show that they're worthwhile. Just to qualify, they had to beat French Guiana in the final of the prelims, which saw a penalty shootout where 15 straight penalties were made until the 8th French Guiana shooter missed, and that's how Trinidad and Tobago made it in. Next, I have El Salvador. El Salvador has beaten the teams that they should beat, has lost to the teams that you would think that they would lose to. With that being said, I do think that they would beat Curacao, but I am a big fan of Curacao after their 2019 Gold Cup performance, and I would just really like to watch the fairy tale keep going. In the 2019 Gold Cup, Curacao very surprisingly topped their group to make it to the Elite Eight, where they would eventually face USA and lose 1-0. They recently performed very well in World Cup qualifying. The first round of World Cup qualifying is a group stage where they topped their group, scoring 15 goals and only conceding 1 goal, where they would eventually get knocked out to Panama. In the knockout stage, 2-1 on aggregate, where you saw all 3 goals scored in the first leg. What makes Curacao really impressive is their small population, having a population size less than that of Killeen, Texas. I would really love to see Curacao be a dark horse again in this tournament, be able to top El Salvador, making it to the knockout stage, and maybe doing some damage while they're in. And then, to no surprise, Mexico tops this group pretty easily. Greg Berhalter really needs to take note on how they were able to bring in players. As American fans, he made it seem like we would not be able to bring in any of these European superstars. However, Mexico did that. They also were able to bring in 13 of their 23-man roster. They had Nations League, which is not a B team for them at all. If anything, our USA team is going to be a B, maybe even a C team. To recap this group, I think Mexico wins very easily, and Curacao and El Salvador will have a very important game whenever they go against each other for that second seed to make it into the knockout stages. Moving on to Group B, we have Canada, USA, Haiti, and Martinique. I put Martinique at the bottom. They haven't played a single game since 2019. They were also very lucky just to qualify for this tournament in general. The way they qualified was being second place in their Nations League group, which consisted of Honduras and Trinidad and Tobago. They pretty much drew their way, tying 3 of their 4 games, and that 4th game they lost, so they did not win a single game, but they were still able to qualify for this tournament. Not much more needs to be said for them. I think we have a very weak Martinique side here. Next, we have Haiti. Haiti topped their Gold Cup group in 2019. Along the way, they beat Costa Rica and Canada, only to lose 1-0 to Mexico in the semifinal. I think Haiti is clearly better than Martinique, but also clearly worse than USA. They will definitely have a 3rd place finish in this group. And then next, yes, I did put USA in second in the group behind Canada. I just think our guys are not going to be ready this early in the tournament and really need time to gel and get that experience together. In my previous video where I predicted the starting 11 for the Gold Cup, 5 out of 11 of those guys only have 3 or less appearances for this national team. Now, this is a very similar team to the team in January that beat Trinidad and Tobago 7-0. The only real difference is now we have Daryl DK on the side, who I think is actually a lot better than the other striker we used. Also, another advantage we have over these European teams like Canada and Mexico are bringing is that our players in the MLS are really hitting their mid-season form compared to those European players who have been sleeping for the past 2 months. I think that's the only real shot we have of beating some of their European talents. So I do have Canada at the top of this group. I think they have a great shot to win, especially because the Usmnt hasn't been able to call up their best players. Canada is only lacking their striker and their keeper that they would prefer to have at this tournament, but they will have the best player in this tournament by far, in Alphonso Davies. To recap this group, I think USA does have a chance to beat Canada only because they don't play Canada until the last game of the group, which does give their players more time to gel. If USA is able to gel, I think that they can contest for this group, but as of right now, I really see Canada winning it, and Haiti and Martinique just don't have a chance to really get out of this group and face the teams in the knockout stages. So in Group C, we do have Jamaica, Costa Rica, Suriname, and Guadalupe. Now, I do have Guadalupe at the bottom because they don't have any good wins in recent performance, except for their win against Guatemala that did have them qualify. Now, that is a big win because Guatemala hadn't won a single game since September 30th of 2019. Dad, please remember that. That is the same day as my birthday, and I don't want you to forget this year. Now, what also makes that game really huge is it went into a penalty shootout that saw 24 shots fired, breaking the record for Gold Cup penalty shootout shots total. I believe Guadalupe won 10-9 over Guatemala in that shootout. Next, I have Suriname. Now, I can't say I really know too much about Suriname, but whenever I go into their World Cup qualifying and Nations League, they do look more impressive in their results than Guadalupe did. Now, whenever we get into Costa Rica, there is a big difference between Suriname and Guadalupe. Now, Costa Rica is a good team, although they have not been playing like it. They haven't won a game since November of 2019. However, they have drawn 2 games and lost twice on penalty shootouts. With that being said, Costa Rica is far more talented than both teams below them, and I can't see them falling into 3rd or 4th in this group. They could, however, I think they could pull off an upset against Jamaica, as Jamaica's star players have not been playing recently for Jamaica, and they are also on a bad run of form because a lot of their players have been sitting out in order to try to get paid more. However, in this tournament, they should have all those players back, like Leon Bailey, who will be one of the most talented players coming into this tournament. Jamaica overall just has the most talented team in this group. To recap this group, I think Jamaica and Costa Rica will definitely finish 1st and 2nd, although they might flip-flop for who actually takes the group. Same goes for Guadalupe and Suriname. I think either one could finish 3rd and either one could finish 4th, but I do have Suriname 3rd and Guadalupe 4th. Now in this last group of Group D, we have Honduras, Qatar, Panama, and Grenada. I have moved my face cam so that way you can see the FIFA code of Grenada, which is GRN. I have Grenada at the bottom. Although they qualified for this tournament after finishing 1st in their group in Nations League, they had a very easy draw, and I just don't think they can replicate those wins against much stronger sides in Panama, Qatar, and Honduras. And I do think Panama is a great side, but they will just get gypped of a knockout stage group to Qatar, who I think is slightly better on paper coming into this Gold Cup. Qatar is not actually a CONCACAF federation, but they have been invited to play in the Gold Cup because they are hosting World Cup 2022 and are looking for experience from other federations that aren't just in the Asian nations. So they are looking to seek for this Gold Cup where they can also play North American teams competitively. I have Honduras as the best team here. I think Honduras has really prepared well for this Gold Cup. In the last 4 games, they have played Mexico, USA, Costa Rica, and Greece, only losing their games to USA and Greece. They also beat Costa Rica on penalties. The games they lost to USA and Greece, they only lost by 1 goal. I could actually see Honduras as being dark horses in this tournament and going pretty far. To recap this group, I think Honduras, Qatar, or Panama could all be in that 3rd place spot and not make it. This is a very competitive group for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I just don't see Grenada going through at all from this group. Alright, now getting into the knockout stages, I have decided to take the face cam away because there really is no good place to put it where you can see this bracket. So with the teams I have going through, the bracket would line up like this: Honduras versus Curacao, Canada versus Costa Rica, Mexico versus Qatar, and Jamaica versus USA. So in this first game against Honduras and Curacao, I think Honduras has honestly been in really bad form entering this tournament. Curacao did great in their recent matches for World Cup qualifying. Also, I just really want to root for the underdog in Curacao, and for those reasons, I'm going with Honduras. Yeah, honestly, I think Honduras is the better team, and then they win this one pretty easily. And then with Canada and Costa Rica, I think Canada has really tried their best to put the best squad they can with the restrictions on this tournament, especially with Mexico and USA not being able to use their full A-team lineups like they should. It really gives Canada a chance to fight for this title. I think they beat Costa Rica pretty easily. Next, what better way to introduce Qatar into the CONCACAF Gold Cup by having them play Mexico in the first round of knockout stage, where I think Mexico whoops the floor with Qatar. It won't even be close. Honestly, I think Mexico wins by around 3 goals. Then we have USA versus Jamaica. With the restrictions on the USA lineup, I think it'll be a lot harder for USA to beat Jamaica than it should. Honestly, I think this game comes down to the wire. It's probably going to be the best game in the knockout stages if I were to guess. And as a biased USA fan, I do have to put USA over Jamaica. So now that our Final Four is set between Honduras, Canada, Mexico, and USA, I am going to try to go a little more in-depth with these matchups. First with Honduras, they have recently been able to draw against the Mexico B-side, much like the one we are seeing in this Gold Cup, and that was Honduras without their star player in Ellis, who plays up top and will probably be doing most of the goal scoring in this tournament. On the other hand, Canada really using this tournament to show that they have what it takes to be a big side in CONCACAF and that they can qualify for the next World Cup through CONCACAF. And I think Canada will just be able to outscore Honduras. Here we have another USA versus Mexico match. We were under the impression that both USA and Mexico would be bringing really weak rosters to this Gold Cup. However, Mexico has been able to pull out all the stops and bring 13 other 23-man roster from the Nations League, including a lot of European players. However, USA has only been able to bring 4 of their players from the Nations League. Keep in mind, these are not great players like Mexico either. These 4 players combined for only 2 starts in the last Nations League window, where we played against Honduras and Mexico. I would love to be able to say I think that the USA will be able to beat Mexico, and while I am hopeful, I think Mexico just has way too much talent out of any of the teams in this Gold Cup, and if we're not going to beat them with talent, we need to beat them with experience, and we just also don't have a very experienced squad coming to this Gold Cup either, and so I think Mexico just edges it out. So here we have another CONCACAF final that shows a growing team in Canada versus Giants Mexico. I think Canada has almost every piece of their puzzle that they will need to win this tournament besides their striker and David, who will be missing. However, Mexico is also going to be without a lot of their top players, and I think Canada really needs to take advantage of this. Canada will most likely play a 5 midfielder formation, which really sees them try to control this game. However, they have a very, very shaky defense that I think Mexico will also take advantage of, and Mexico just has very talented players. I see this coming down to the end. It'll be a close game, I think, as Canada will be really, really hungry, just wanting to win, doing everything they can to win. They will have Alphonso Davies working very hard, best player in this tournament, but I just don't think that their defense will be able to help them out enough, and I see Mexico winning this Gold Cup, repeating from 2019. If you disagree with anything in this video, go ahead and leave a comment. Also, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, I'd really like to thank Papa Sauce and Mama Sauce for helping me put this background together. I'm Sauce, and this has been Sauce's Scoop Usmnt.